Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm back with another Scrap-A-Sketch layout. And here is the sketch right here by Lisa Sikorsky. And this is the third winter layout or sketch. And I am really excited about the way this turned out. I wasn't sure how it was going to go because it's a little bit different. Like I said, the theme right now is winter. This is a matted page with a little bit of a scrap up at the top, and there's a couple layers of paper, a couple pictures, and some embellishments and a title. And as you can see, I have this one piece of Paper Studio textured, but it's not really textured, just looks textured. And I know that this probably looks like I'm going to do a Christmas layout because, you know, it's red and green and it's winter. But then I have this little basket of bread and these little embellishments with some fruits and tomatoes and by Susan Branch. And this is why. I have these two pictures of my daughter from when she worked at Fazoli's, and she was getting ready to go into work, and I love these pictures so much. So this is in winter. You can see the snow falling. Well, actually, it's March the 3rd, but the snow is falling, and that it says winter to me. So I have this just solid cardstock that I created yesterday on just because I was fiddling around, and it's my Simple Stories Going Places 6x6 stencil. I just laid it down in the bottom left and the top right corner and then I went through with Folk Art Dragonfly Glaze, and this is color changing top coat, violet, blue, and green shift. And I put it in kind of thick so it's a little bubbly. So there's some texture to that. And I thought I knew what I wanted to do with this, but I wasn't 100% sure. This is not the plan, but that's okay. And I really love the way it turned out. So I will connect it all together in the end, but I just kind of went a little random and crazy. I literally used these two pieces of paper, a matted paper, and a small scrap. And that's pretty much the extent of it. So I've got my papers, some stickers and an embellishment, these two super cute 3x4 pictures, and this really cool sketch by Lisa Sikorsky. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing, I stare at this paper because I think since it's matted, I'm going to have to trim it. Well, I don't want to trim any of that off, but I'm going to, but I only trim like 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So I take a 1/4 inch off of the side and then a 1/4 inch off the bottom so that one of those little squares of the mixed media is not taking the brunt of the cut. So I cut down the right side and off the bottom. So each of them gets a little cut off, but not one of them getting cut twice, if that makes any sense. And then it's a little wonky because I think this black paper is not 12 by 12. Not sure. But anyway, I got that down as best as possible. I don't mind it being wonky. I am wonky. And then I use this, this is super thin paper. It's from the Paper Studio. It's a paper pad called All the Textures or something like that. And it's super thin paper. There is no texture, but it looks like it. So it looks like a wood grain. And I freehand cut this triangle. And if you all watched my sketch the other day on the 20th, y'all know I cannot cut a triangle that is even. And I'm okay with that because it makes it more non-professional looking. Like it was made in a house and not by, you know, I don't know. Anyway, it definitely makes it more likely to be mine because it's not straight. I use some of my tape runner, but I also add a little bit of my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because it does go over where the paper meets, and it also goes over the mixed media. And like I said, it is textured from where that glaze comes off of the page. And I love that. And then I cut this strip that's 11 inches, so it gives me a little bit of space on either side. And I just tack it on in the middle, at first because I was thinking that the strip that goes vertical is behind this paper, but when I looked back at my sketch, it is not. It's in front, and that's fine. So I go in and just use some Nuvo Deluxe to adhese that down where the mixed media is and some double-sided tape where it is not. And then I just take a matting square, or no, I took a piece of 12 by 12 paper that is exactly the same black paper that I'm matting the whole layout on, and I cut it in a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then of course trim my 2 pictures out that I created on Project Life app. And I want to make sure the one with the green awning is first because that's her walking up to the door. And then the other one is her dancing around while she's waiting for somebody to come to the door. And if I knew how, and I'm going to learn, if I knew how to do the QR codes, I would put one on this layout so that I could QR code the link to this dance because, oh my gosh, she's a mess. So you all are probably wondering why I've pulled the Jen Hadfield reaching out paper out. And there is why right there, they're dancing. These girls are dancing. And I never thought I would use this paper. I love the back of it. It says Better Together in really pretty colors. But I knew that this was the perfect paper. Not when I started because I had no clue what I was doing when I started. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to put down on here to make this a little less Christmassy looking, I remembered I had this Jen Hadfield Reaching Out collection, and it has the dancing girls in it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. The colors may not be exact. There's a girl in there wearing that same, not pea green and not lime green. It's a little darker, but it just worked perfectly. And these are kind of the dance moves she is totally doing. I mean, she walked like a chicken back and forth in front of that door and kept looking inside to make sure nobody was seeing her. And then after about 10 minutes of dancing in front of the door, she realized that the sign on the door said they weren't going to open for another like 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah. So you can see my headlights in the window because I'm sitting there waiting for them to let her in. Bless her heart. This is 3 years ago. And so she was 17 at the time. So, you know, she's grown up a little, although I have a feeling she'd still do something very much like that. But that's okay. She gets her weirdness from her mother, and I I will take that. So I got my pictures down, and very similar to in the sketch, I have the one on the right a little higher, except I have it in the front because there's a bunch of like the side of Fazoli's on that picture on the left. So now you know, if you know what Fazoli's is, why I have a basket of breadsticks. I felt like this was the perfect layout for this. So I get that same red paper and I punch a 1.5 inch circle with my Creative Memories circle punch. And then I punch a 1 inch circle as well. And I'm going to put one down there where the 2 pictures meet up at the bottom. And one I'm going to tuck up at the top. So I'm not putting mine exactly where they are in the sketch, but I'm okay. It's pretty close. But she also has journaling on that bottom circle. And I'm going to put a little word phrase there. But my journaling is going to be off to the side. So I get that down and I have it covering the space where those 2 pictures meet. And then I put the other one up at the top. And I tuck it under the picture instead of putting it on top, which is how the sketch has it. And then I use my Nuvo Deluxe and get that Jolie's by You basket of breadsticks put down. And it's so cute. And then I took a little circle that I circle punched out from that same reaching out paper, and it's got music notes on it. So I cut a little circle where there's music notes, and then I get a heart punch and I cut out hearts, and each one of those hearts has a little musical note in the middle. And there was no music playing except for what was in her head, and that is fine. So then the other thing I do is I pull this Susan Branch collection out, and it's like a picnic collection, old-fashioned picnic or something, and it has some tomatoes on it. And since that is the main theme at Fazoli's, I use those for extra embellishments. So I put the little hearts up there, and then I put a little tomato next to each one. And I really love how that turned out. It is very similar to the color in the circles and that background paper. So I like that. And then there's two little phrases on here. One says, what a day. And it was definitely a what a day. And then the other one said, here again, but it had another word on it. Oh, it said, here again, I don't know what it said. Anyway, I cut part of that off. Oh, are here again. It said are here again. You're supposed to, it was like a sentence phrase. And so I just put here again because it was definitely not her first day of school. Work. And then I get this journaling card out because I don't want to write right on the paper since there is some mixed media. Honestly, I took my plastic palette knife and I just smeared whatever of that textured paste or whatever, the glaze, onto the corners that didn't have the mixed media. So there's a little shine and shimmer on the right and left, and it's just like a smear mark. And I don't care. I think it looks nice. You can see it in this picture. But I didn't want to write on top of that because I didn't think it would stay. So I just write down the date and a little note about my daughter dancing. And then I realize I'm going to show you the up close, and I realize, oh, I didn't put a title on here. So I pull out the Thickers Colorful. And after going through all of my thickers to see if I can find a good phrase, and the one that says this photo is the one I'm going with, and it has a green arrow that is very similar to the green that I'm using, and it's exactly a match to the little awning that she's under, and I'm pointing to the one of her dancing because it makes me laugh. And then I pull a heart off of there, like an open heart, and I put it over there to where the only thing showing through is that white and a little musical note. And then I put a couple plus signs from this collection on there. And then on the other side, I find one more green heart and put that on the top. So it brings that green into a triangle. And then I'm using this little paper that I have this printed the sketch out on to make little lines, like stitch lines, fake stitching, up at the top. And so I love the way that this turned out, you all. It is a little crazy, but I really, really love this. So, and I'm excited that I actually got to use that paper because I never thought that I would be able to use the dancing people because I don't scrapbook with a lot of paper that has like people in it. So I just love that this was the perfect thing. So here it is up close. You can see some of that shiny shimmer right there in my fake stitching with my Creative Memories pen. And then there is the up close, and they have stars, hearts, and little airplanes in the geotags. And that's about it. I will be back again next Friday and Saturday with the pick a season for the last 2 days of the month. And also today I have uploaded my Scraplift Crafternoon with my friends Anna and Christine. So I hope that you will watch that. It is a special one. And normally I'd be saying have a great day and happy scrapping, but I'm going to share this one last thing with you. My friend Christy over at 30 Days of Sketches has created this because there's been some controversy in the scrapbooking world. And so I just want you all to know that I create to inspire, and it makes my heart happy and humbled and honored if you find any inspiration in anything that I create. And I am giving all the love and joy out there for anything that I do that you would like to scrap lift or just love and inspires you. So that's all I've got, and happy scrapping.